Okay, before we get started, what you have to do is go back to the beginning.
Oh, but I don't want to go back to the beginning. That's where all this came from in the first place. Can't we just skip to the end, where everything goes up in a delightful ball of flame, and I'll finally get 5 minutes peace from the very silly humans saying very silly things all the time?
That's where you start, at the beginning. Well, where's the beginning?
Oh, well, if it's the beginning of our interactions, it's you saying that dragons done do the real and are so big that they couldn't possibly exist due to basic physics, and me pointing out that that is kind of dumb, and then you carry on saying it as if I said nothing at all. It's almost like you aren't listening to me and my extremely important jokes.
A metamorphosis. And where did that come from? Ovid. And who is Ovid?
Avid don't know. Sorry, that was horrible. No wonder he doesn't listen to me. Anyway, metamorphosis, eh? And that's the beginning. The beginning of what exactly? Because I thought it was more of a mid-stage of something rather than the primary. I mean, it has to be at least one step later, otherwise, what exactly are you metamorphosizing from exactly? See, seconds in and you're already saying things that don't make any goddamn sense, Roger. Ha! I've missed you.
He was a writer, and he was a writer during 8 AD.
Again, that doesn't sound very beginning-y. I mean, 8 AD is not the start of the ADs. And then there's the fact that I Know Domino's Pizza comes after Before Krispy Kremes, and you're making even less sense than usual. But you know what? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he means the beginning of something specific. Okay then. What exactly is metamorphosizing there, Rogie baby? Hopefully it's not something stupid.
Somewhere in that area. Somewhere around the time of Julius Caesar, I believe. And he wrote a lot.
Oh, I forgot how almost knowingly ignorant and ill-prepared Roger is. I mean, you would think that the man who genuinely believes he has discovered some shit that basically flips all of science on its head, and that the establishment is just too scared and corrupt to acknowledge his great work, but he for some reason just doesn't bother to write down his ideas into some sort of coherent script so he can make a video that actually makes, some sense to even know what nonsense he is attempting to communicate, and that he might, not do any of that. But it's almost like he knows everything that he believes is bullshit, and writing it down might mean he will have to actually think about it, and f*** that.
And his contention, these are all his books.
Did you just make a fucking car noise, Roger? Well, brums aside, yeah, that's a lot of books. But that doesn't mean that they were good books. And I'm not making any judgments on this specific guy either way, but I'm sure there are plenty of extremely prolific writers who are incredibly shit. I mean, your average book contains about 300 pages. And if we are to apply that to me and the scripts I make for my videos, I write about 2.5 shit books a year worth of content. Do you think that makes my ideas any less stupid and my jokes any less painful? No, of course not.
And they are... Oof.
First you honk and now we're woofing, are we? Well, as non-committal statements go, that one sure is... I mean, seriously, are they good? Are they bad? Are they flavoured like blueberries? What the hell does that noise mean when applied to these documents other than you don't actually have any opinions on them and just want people to think that you know how to read?
Now, he went back to Hesiod, who was the first one to write about the creation of the earth. It was called the Theogony.
Oh, okay, fair enough. He's talking about the creation of Earth. And as beginning points go, that's fairly beginning-y. And yes, I have used beginning-y twice now, so it's officially a real word. But the creation of Earth, as said by an ancient dude, well, what could possibly go wrong with that? Spoilers, the video's called Bodies Turned to Landscape by the Gods. So everything, basically.
Now, this is what metamorphosis is all about. Metamorphosis means change. It means transformation. Listen to this.
Wait a tick. Are we talking about the beginning of the Earth TM? And he is using the term metamorphosis. Now, to be fair, the scientific explanation of the formation of the Earth does involve a lot of changes over time, including the expansion of the universe and the formation of various bodies due to space clumps and the cooling down of those things into whatever it is they currently are. So maybe that would be an okay word to use, except what's the betting that million years ago man had no fucking idea that's how shit happened and instead thinks that the Earth was literally something completely different, like a pack of cigarettes or a butt plug or something like that. Although, wait a minute. The flat earthers were right. Kinda.
Metamorphosis or transformation is an underlying theme amongst the episodes of Metamorphosis.
Episode of Metamorphosis? But what has the creation of the Earth got to do with the 9th episode of the 2nd season of the American science fiction television series Star Trek? That show's set in space, far away from the petty squabbles of the 21st century, in a universe where this is considered an attractive and charismatic human being. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The man looks like he was rendered using Unreal Engine 3 for fuck's sake.
Ovid raises the significance explicitly in the opening lines.
Oh my gosh, in the opening line does he? My goodness, let's see what he says. This is dedicated to my bro, Mudfossil. If it weren't for you in the future space year of 2023 bringing my ass up again, Sick might never have heard of me. Well, fucking hell, that's oddly specific. Maybe the guy's onto something.
In novum fert anumus mutatus deceris formas corpora.
Gesundheit. I don't know what happened there, but I'm pretty sure Roger just broke and started spouting off random moonspeak. What do you mean Latin? Look, lat in, lat out, or lat shake it all about. If Roger starts doing the hokey cokey, I'm going to call the police, because no one wants to see that shit on YouTube. Think of the children. They'd call it cringe.
What does that mean?
Gotta love Roger Boy pretending that he can speak a foreign language. I mean, okay, maybe he does, but if he does, I would be completely shocked considering his inability to understand things in English. I seriously doubt he would be able to understand a single thing in another goddamn language.
I intend to speak of forms changed into new entities. Forms changed into new entities. What does that mean?
I don't know, Roger. Maybe something about things changing into other things, which is a thing that even back then they would have witnessed in nature. But of course, they, like we, did not witness the Earth changing from, I don't know, a sack of shit to the Earth itself. Mostly because it wouldn't have changed at all in that scenario, but partly because it just doesn't.
Listen to this. Accompanying this theme is often violence.
I mean, I certainly will if you don't get to your fucking point there, Roger. Not against you. I'm not the sort to threaten other people, but to myself. Because I will have bashed my stupid metal head in with a fucking steel pole if you don't get a goddamn move on. You know, I don't know what my therapist means when he says I'm impatient. At least that's what I think he was going to say. I beat myself unconscious because he wouldn't hurry the fuck up.
Inflicted upon a victim whose transformation becomes part of the natural landscape.
Oh God, oh no, damn it all. I just figured out where he's going with this shit and Roger, come on man. Although the only reason I know where he's going with this is because, well, I know that he thinks that planets are made of meat. No, seriously, if this is your first time here, Roger's pet theory, for which he has some following, is that the world used to be full of giant critters and this and that, and that geological features around us aren't the result of upheaval of various natural mechanisms, like continental drift and volcanic activity, etc., but are the various gigantic corpses of huge people and various mythical creatures. And he believes this because he thinks that's what they look like. So, as you might have guessed, the man's an idiot. Honestly, I don't know why I'm even surprised at this point.
The victim becomes part of the natural landscape after violently being attacked and killed.
Right, so we know what wild fancy Roger is going to go on with this, but what does that actually mean? Well, without having read the book, or whatever that comes from, so, you know, knowing just about as much of it as Roger does, my interpretation of that is, well, the obvious one. When something dies, it decomposes and becomes part of the environment. but not in a way that you could tell. In fact, it effectively disappears, whether that be through decay or carrion creatures dragging it away. But what does not happen is Gregory, say, dies where he's standing, and then a little structure forever stands as a testament to his life. Real life isn't a fucking video game, Roger. You don't respawn and get to collect your loot from your death point. Although how convenient would that be? The amount of time you could save on commuting by just topping yourself.
As is with the dragon in Morocco, his throat.
You mean that dragon, the one that you have brought up umpteen bajillion times and that I have thoroughly refuted with basic, simple facts about how the reels work, aka a miles long anything would collapse under its own weight and wouldn't be able to have an effective pulmonary system, and so on and so forth. Remember, there's people who think that this is some kind of secret science, but what it really is magical bullshit.
You know, I get frequently people saying, well, big deal, what can we do about this? There was giants, there was dragons, there was giant fish, there was all these things, so what does that mean?
I'm pretty sure that people say, no, Roger, this is nonsense, what the hell is wrong with you? Do we need to get you to the old folks' home so that you don't hurt yourself, you delusional old bastard? Or something along those lines. And there's plenty you could do if it turned out that what you're saying is true. You could fucking prove it. But instead, for some reason, you choose to just point and say it looked like it over and over again, as if repeating gibberitic nonsense is somehow going to make it true.
Well, it means to go back and look at what was written and what was said and why it happened.
And then misunderstand it really hard to make it fit into your fantasy version of reality. Or just believe it outright if it does in fact agree with your fantasy version of reality. And most importantly of all, any of that stupid science shit, you have to ignore that stuff hard to make sure that you never ever question your ideas and figure out that they are wanting. I mean, my ideas are stupid. What else about me might be stupid? What if it's, you know, literally everything? Can't have that.
And when you hear about how they established Earth...
I'm sorry, the who did what now? They established Earth. No, never heard of that. Mostly because that's not how that works. Earth wasn't built by, well, f***ing anyone. The Earth formed. It came to be. The same way basically every other large object in the universe came to be. Because of gravity, etc. Seriously, where do you get this nonsense? Oh, right, old books written by dudes who had no idea how the universe worked. So very scientific, Roger.
And created it to be a paradise, and we screwed it up to something terrible.
Oh, for fuck's sake, no. I mean, seriously, the Earth is not and has never been some sort of paradise. Yeah, sure, there's nice bits of it, but mostly because they're pretty and have a relative low number of things that would kill the shit out of you. But most of it, and that's excluding the great big wet bit that you can't really live on in a sensible way, most of it will kill you stone dead if you aren't paying attention. Because, you know, that's what I associate with paradise. Not. Well, for humans. For me, it'd be great, but you lot would just hate it. But yeah, that's why you spread out and made most of it not that. The opposite of screwing it up, at least for your ability to not constantly dead.
And I believe Jesus Christ was God's son, and he sent him down. He says, give him one last chance.
Not gonna lie, I enjoy Roger's The Greatest Story Ever Told, abridged edition. At least that way it has a chance of actually being a good story. But seriously, greatest story ever told. It's like these people have never played the Legacy of Kain series. No, I'm not kidding. It's a story about time-traveling vampires, and they made it unironically good. How is that even possible?
And see if we can harvest any of the good ones, and the rest of them, we're going to flush them down the toilet.
Oh my god, it gets better. Man, Roger, me old mate. You wouldn't have made church any more believable, but if you were a pastor at my local church, I would be there every week for the sheer entertainment factor alone. Until, of course, he pulls out a monitor and starts jabbing it with a stick to show you what hell will be like or something. Le shudder.
And that's what I believe is what's happening right this minute. It said all of these things would be unveiled in the last days, and boy, I'm telling you, the unveiling is unveiling.
Wait, who's unveiling what? I mean, as far as I can tell, the only thing that seems to be happening is people can live longer, everyone is more interconnected, and for the most part, life is a lot less getting eaten by a tigery than it was before. The end of the world seems to be pretty harmless, if not kind of super beneficial. as far as I can tell. That's lame.
Okay, my friends, what are we looking at here? Well, it's an anomaly that is on the Earth in the Cappadocia region.
Okay, that was such a jarring transition. Seriously, the amount that he does this, I don't know if he just records lots of videos and then just slams them together, or maybe he records them out of order, or he simply doesn't know how to make a contiguous video that makes sense in a straight line, but yeah. And we have an anomaly, do we? Well, I have no idea what that is. Tell me, Roger, what wild nonsense do you think it could be? That way, I will know what definitely not to think. You know, because of how wrong you always are.
Of Turkey. And as you can see, it's red, and this appears to be something that has drained out of here. Well, what could have possibly drained out of there?
I don't know, water? Fun fact, did you know that there's water all over the planet? There's so much water, in fact, that it falls from the sky and can pool in various places, even underground, at the point where it will break out of wherever it is and roll down hills till it hits some other place where it can pool again. I mean, I don't know if that's what that actually is, but it's the quickest and least ludicrous explanation that one could take from the top of their head. So let's see if Roger deviates from that at all.
Well, it looks to me like it was possibly blood. That's what red stuff is.
And there it is. Blood bubbling up from under the Earth's surface. Because the world is made from meat, apparently. And why is that? Because he thinks that's what it looks like. No other evidence required. No reason to go there and test to see if that shit is in any way, shape or form at all blood. It is because that's what it looks like. And it looks like it because blood is red. You truly are a titan of intellect, Roger. No wonder your fans come to defend you with such brilliant comments as, "The concept of a YouTube page devoted to slandering somebody is childish at best." It is childish to think that I'm dedicated to Roger and that me pointing out how he's wrong is somehow slander. And I made comments on 2 other Brits on YouTube that also hate Roger of Mudfossil, stating that they need to call him out and debate him on national TV or whatever platform you choose. Cool, except I don't hate Roger. He's hilarious and okay, if I get to choose whatever I want that broadcasting system that forces everybody's TVs to switch to it. Can you imagine the ratings? You fucking morons.
I don't know if they've looked at this and minded or anything, but you can see it's a runoff, and it just ran right out of there. Now, I am pretty familiar with body tissues and the different chemistry that the body creates.
Are you though? Because you seem to think that rocks are organs, statues are literally fossilized giants, and various other things that only someone who has no idea what body chemistry is would think. You're a diamond, Roger. Never change. No, I don't mean literally, for sake.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the